Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Podfathers, the best parenting podcast in the universe, tolerated by Barstool Sports. It's your pal Clem here. It's the big man down in Jersey. It's Daddy Boy in Tejas, and we are ready to rock, ready to roll. Stu Fighter style, baby. Stu Fighter. Let's get some fucking blood going. Let's get the blood flowing right now because the kids are back in school, or at least one of mine is. The other one goes back tomorrow. Raj, you got both your kids back in school?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All three.
Oh.
Yeah, everyone went back today.
And of course, Daddy Boy has already been living this life, living.
Yeah,
this
we're about to be on
right
Christmas
now.
vacation.
Oh man,
Fall
South
break.
of the Mason-Dixon line does have its charms. I will say that much. And I wanted to pose this question to the panel here. My buddy Mark hit me up last night, who's a teacher, and he said, "This is, I think, more so for when you're a kid. What is a harder night to fall asleep on? The night before the first day of school or Christmas Eve?" Two very different feelings running through your systems during those times.
I say Christmas with a bullet. Like, I think it's big time because half kids, I think, are excited about school and half aren't. Everybody is excited about Christmas, even if you're like little Timmy. Like, you want Christmas to come.
Now, what about the side of it where you're nervous and you're just like, shit, you're having bad dreams. You're scared about the first day of school, not sure if that brand new shirt is going to pop the way you would. If someone has the same trapper keeper as you, stuff like that. Do you think that, changes anything at all?
Did you really have first day outfit struggle? I feel like outfit struggle doesn't come until like day 4 or 5. Most kids, I think that first day they have a dynamite outfit that they're ready to rock.
It's the first play of the game when you're playing football. You know that thing. You've been preparing all summer for that. I personally never had that issue. I was always fresh to death. I'm sure the big man was fresh to death down in Brooklyn back in the day.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to go the other direction just because everyone knows I'm a little bit more inclusive than Chaps, and I realize that not everybody celebrates Christmas. Chaps often overlooks Jewish people.
True,
whenever we've been doing this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
For example, a good percentage of my neighbors all around New York and New Jersey are the finest Jewish people we've ever seen in their life, and they don't give a single fuck about the day before Christmas.
Wow.
But I'll tell you what, they all go to school. So I will say that it's the first day of school as opposed to the day before Christmas.
And I'll say it's the day before your birthday, Large, because I'm going to include you in the conversation.
Oh,
an early happy birthday. I bet you I'm the first person to wish you a happy birthday. You are now on the other side of 50, half 100 now. You are now even. Oh, yikes.
Somebody had put that out on Twitter the other day or TikTok. The guy's like, everyone is saying middle-aged is, 45, 50 years old. Guys, like, don't you know the average American male lives to 76? He's like, so you do the math on that, you back it out. That's 38.
And we're the only industrialized country that has actually dropped in life expectancy in the last 10 years. Everybody else is going up and we're going backwards.
Right. So everybody can laugh at me all they want. Oh, I'm the old guy. But if you're 39 or above or getting close, you're on the back nine also.
I'm half of 80. Yeah.
You just got a couple of dogs at the turn and you're waiting to go back to the big old clubhouse in the sky. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
And that's just average. That's not talking about the jobs we do that takes fucking, ages like presidents here. So yikes, we are in some trouble. Chapsy, what's going on down in Texas these days?
Boys, I had a big time dad moment yesterday. So we went to Dave & Buster's. We had the day off, obviously, for Labor Day. The whole squad went down to Dave & Buster's. Cardi wanted to play some games, so we got into some skee ball action, the basketball games. They have a new dodgeball game, which is sick. But on the way there, the worst part about any of those places like Chuck E. Cheese or like Peter Piper Pizza here, Dave & Buster's, is waiting for your kids to select the shitty little prize that they're going to get with all their different tokens and tickets and shit like that. Yesterday was like a 25-minute affair with McCartney trying to figure it out. So I go to the car because I don't have a whole lot of patience for that kind of shit. So I just know wifey could stay. I'll go cool the car down. My air conditioner in my truck stopped working. 105 degrees sitting out there. Without another soul anywhere around. I had a dad statement. I just go, well, isn't this just fucking perfect? This just another thing to have to deal with. We got a short week. It's Labor Day. And now I got to figure out how I'm going to get this AC fixed. So I've been YouTubing it. When we're done here, I'm going to Discount Auto Parts to see if I can replace one fuse for the cost of $14 to see if it'll fix it. A lot of YouTube and says that it will. If not, I'm sure it's going to be like 10 grand to fix.
Yeah.
It's either $5 or 10 grand.
I thought you said you were Googling to see the closest mechanic to fix it for you for whatever price they deem worthy of it. But that is huge. That dream that everything can be fixed with one single fuse that is a couple of nickels. That's the dream you get to keep living until. So make sure to update us on this, chaps, because
I did it last time because you remember my Dodge truck had the click thing in the air conditioner, and I changed that. It was one little part, and it started working again. If I do this again, I feel like I might be in BJ territory, honestly.
Oh, we're talking.
I mean, you save. What do you think that is? You save $500. I think you can go like cash in on that coupon, right?
It's worth broaching the subject at least, the very least.
What do we think here? This is easily a little trip to a resort for a weekend that I fixed.
HJ, I mean, you're not going to turn down the HJ.
I don't want an
you're
HJ.
expecting more than
I'm
an
past
HJ.
that point, Clem. You know I don't want an HJ. It's got to have a little moisture involved.
A little moisture. Get it wet. That's all he's asking. Speaking of BJ's, I happened to notice that BJ's was open on Labor Day, yet our beloved Costco was closed on Labor Day. So one company cares about the laborers of this country and the laborers that work for them, and one just quite simply does
one
not.
Has to and one doesn't. I would say that is Costco doesn't need to. They get to have their people off. BJ's, you got to just come in no matter what. You're working.
I'm a member of BJ's. You guys know that?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's probably why you're a member, because they make everyone work all the time. I saw your blog you just wrote how no one wants to work anymore.
It's so true, though. All these fucking headlines. Every headline I see. Yeah, the kid from Nirvana album cover is suing him again.
Again?
Yeah.
Listen, your parents sold a picture of you naked in a pool for $200. The parents sold that picture, sold up any rights to it for $200. This is his third, and the judge said this is his final. There will not be a fourth. Just let it fucking go. You'll have to work, my friend. You can't get it.
And nobody would known it was that guy's penis if he wouldn't have said it a million times.
No, he's gone to parties as the Nirvana penis guy and stuff like that. He just thought that he could make a quick buck off of Nirvana. Did I say Madonna or Nirvana?
You said Nirvana.
Yeah, off of Nirvana. So he keeps trying. It's not going to work. I mean, he should have all the animosity in the world that his parents. And I don't know what they did with the $200. Maybe it was $2 of cocaine. Maybe it was, they donated to the church. But they grossly underestimated the worth of a picture of his penis. And that's their fault. You know what I mean? Not Nirvana's. So but again, nobody wants to work.
You could easily argue that penis is absolutely worthless without Nirvana.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wants to see that
100%
dick without it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I beg to differ. There's a bunch of people who are, aren't allowed within 50 yards of a school. Yeah. They're online for chemical castration.
Yeah.
Kurt Cobain would have hated this fucking kid.
Yeah. Let's ask him about it. Kurt Cobain needs another lawsuit like he needs a fucking hole in his head.
Oh, true. Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
How about that deceased dad moment from Taylor Hawkins this weekend with Foo Fighters coming out? His son absolutely blasting the drums, played incredibly well.
He and like with Dave Grohl looking like
you
know what I mean, just looking at him the whole time while the kid's like "Ba-da-da-da-dum," and he's like
because Dave Grohl's probably known that kid since he was in diapers.
100%. Yeah, it was a really cool. What a great concert that was.
Yeah.
And best frontman alive right now, probably one or two behind Jack Black, but Dave Grohl, man, best frontman fucking alive.
Jack White, you mean?
No, I love fucking Tenacious D.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I think he does a great job.
Dave Grohl being able to go from Nirvana to Foo Fighters and changing instruments all the long way, and just
what was the other one too?
Queens of the Stone Age.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I mean, like even at that concert, he goes and plays lead, rhythm. He played bass. At one, like I think during the Chrissy Hynde thing, maybe he was playing bass. He was playing bass when when Wolfgang came out, and Wolfgang Van Halen came out and did "Hot for Teacher" with the lead singer of The Darkness, and I believe Dave Grohl was playing bass for that. I mean, the guy just does everything. So I don't know, great little concert for Taylor Hawkins.
You know who else I've heard is on that same level of musical genius? Old Bruno Mars.
Really?
That he could play every instrument on any of his albums just as well as the artists who play them.
Yeah, I think
Can
Prince too.
confirm that boy can jam, and he even says, he goes, I may not be able to play it like the best guitar player in the world, but he puts a little extra sass on it that kind of makes it great. So
Some stank on it, yeah.
little stank. The Chicago guys met him, and they said he just has an aura about him. There's no real way to describe it. He's a little man. He's not a very tall guy, but he has an aura that is bigger than all three of us. If we went shoulder to shoulder, if we did like a piggyback, I guess I'd have to be the base. I guess the big man would be the middle, and then Chaps would be on top. I don't know, right? So that Bruno Trump dwarves all three of us. I love being on top.
I think the only thing that's not questioned is Chaps being on top, but I think we could switch up as the base. I think conditioning would be an issue for either of us.
Yes.
So maybe for the first couple, then I'll take over for a couple.
And I got little legs. You don't want me at the bottom.
I hope everyone
not with these ankles. Look at these things. These things suck. Look at these.
Oh, those are terrible ankles.
Yikes.
Terrible ankles.
Just little guys.
Everyone on the YouTube got a treat, a little freebie right there. Are you opening an OnlyFans anytime soon, Chaps? I know Kate has one, and a bunch of the other people here.
I would, but I think I'd come too fast. I don't think it'd be a quick one. It'd be like a OnlyFans, but just reels.
I mean, I guess it depends on how this fuse goes. If you have to pay the full price for the fuse, you may have to go on that OnlyFans just to pay for the air conditioning to get fixed. If not, whatever. And then you can get the blowjob and get paid for the blowjob in a weird way. So that could be. We're talking here. We're cooking with gas now. Large, what's going on in Jersey? Everyone doing all right?
Yeah, everyone seems to be doing fine. Back to school. The kids are very excited about it somewhat. So no issues. Pouring rain, but we could use it. So it was no harm, no foul, and that's it. And then the oldest son down in Alabama had a little health scare. He has COVID, and so Andy's like, "Oh, I'll fly down." I'm like, "No, you're not. You're not going to fly down. It's not a big deal down there at all. It's Alabama." So I believe it's a 3-hour quarantine.
I doubt it. They probably just tell you to have a Gatorade. You'll be fine.
Yeah. I didn't know they even acknowledge it anymore. Yeah. So that's
he was like, "Do I need to wear a mask?" They were like, "Probably on Halloween." But so he's on the road to recovery a little bit, and so all's well as far as I know.
Love to hear it. And the Casa de Clem here, we have AJ just started his last year of preschool. Oh, I'm not even ready to have the bank account get hit with not having to deal with the preschool payment anymore. Chaps, I remember the first time you had that. Oh, it's
so sweet.
It's like the mortgage payment at this point. It's like whatever, it comes in and it goes right out. It's an absolute disaster. Now
it's also good at the end of summer, Clem, because those payments start to come back. Like you have different types, weekly YMCA or whatever. That's like $190 a week or $200 a week, something like that. So at the end of the summer, having like $1,000 at the end, ready to go again, is a great feeling.
We've been starting to look for like a new couch upstairs, and that's basically like a month or two of preschool right there. Yeah, boom, there's our couch. It can go real nice. Only problem is, and I didn't even have the heart to tell the kid, in his new class, his best friend, who is his road dog, his guy Casey, this guy, I mean, inseparable, not in his class. And we just didn't have the heart to tell him. And I'm just hoping he just doesn't remember. He doesn't realize
that's dirty to do to the teacher, Clem. You know that.
Yeah, I know. And they told him, they said, listen, this teacher is going to be better for AJ. I think AJ has a little bit of a, reputation. So they're like, this teacher's going to be better for him. So it's like, well, if Casey's not going to be in with AJ, I guess we're just going to have to live with it. So but I didn't want to do it, but better the teacher than me. They're getting paid to deal with his tantrums. I don't get paid a goddamn thing. I'm paying him basically to yell at me and tell me how much he dislikes me. So it's been a tough one. And they're not even in the same school district once they're done with preschool, which is the absolute worst part about it. So their last year together was their first year together. And then in better news, however, Sienna doesn't know this yet, so I have to make sure because she's upstairs right now. I don't know if you guys remember this. Told you, Sienna, they changed bus drivers during COVID because they had to split up the buses, kind of schedule it all out. We're getting our Eddie back. We're getting our Eddie back tomorrow, first day. Go. It is huge. So AJ gets his beloved best friend ripped from his soul, and Sienna gets her bus driver back. So it's just gonna be more of the same. Sienna's gonna be happy. AJ's gonna be mad. So that's kind of what we are dealing with right now in the.
We've had some good bus driver stories on this show between that and McCartney thinking that Big Cat was their bus driver in school when Annalise was like, who's coming over? And I was like, Dave, Dan. And Cardi goes, My bus driver did?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's coming over for some wings. It'll be great.
Clem, look what Annie just delivered. Rainbow cookies.
Oh, rainbow cookies.
Mm-hmm.
I caught some shrapnel for that in the sweet snacks draft with the dog walk boys, where they were saying or it was Captain Khan saying that rainbow cookies never go when he goes to his Italian buddy's house. And I said, buddy, rainbow cookies are the only Italian cookie to go. The Italians have figured out many good things in the culinary arts. Cookies is not their finest trait, unfortunately. It's a lot of powder, a lot of raspberry jellies and stuff like that, but we nailed it with the rainbow cookie. You know, that's our fucking Sistine Chapel.
Large power rank French cooking and Italian cooking if you can only eat one for the rest of your life.
Ooh, if I can only eat one for the rest of my life. So Clem makes a good point, because when you're dealing with French, you're also pulling in the whole pastry angle to it.
Breakfast too. Don't forget, are we including breakfast? We're doing all 3 meals here, Chapsy?
Yeah,
all 3 meals for the rest of my life. That's.
I
wasn't
Italian.
prepared. I think I might go French.
Start the blog, Large, right now. Start the blog as we're on the podcast.
That's tough, because I think I can like Italian food on the daily more so than French food. If I'm going out to just a once in a lifetime knock it out of the park meal, definitely French. But every day, I think I'm going Italian.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to think about it in those terms too. And I think that the Italian one is the one that I couldn't do every day. I mean, believe me, I can and I have. But I think that if we're going rest of our lives, listen, we had 2 guys on the desk. They had to do chicken parms for lunch from the same place, a chicken parm hero for lunch, full hero. They had to eat the whole hero. I think I might have told the story every day. And then if they didn't do it, and they were each given their vacations and all that kind of stuff, the first person to not do it when they were both in the office together owed the other guy $5,000. $5,000. That was the bet. So every day, these guys working on a desk together would have a chicken parm show up. So 5 days a week, less 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks vacation, like all that.
That's a 2,500 calorie sandwich too. Like, that's not a small fellow.
Chaps,
yeah.
They did it for just over a year and a half. And then the guy's like, I finally, the one guy's like, I'm fucking out. I cannot
like
do
sweating.
This.
It looks
just
disgusting.
I think they went from a place that did it on a ciabatta. I shouldn't do like the big hero, the individual ciabatta or whatever. So it was doable, but every day for a year and a half.
Fuck that.
And I know that's just one dish, but I kind of find chicken parm to be the baseline for a lot of Italian cooking, which is ignorant on my part, but it kind of is. So that's how I feel a lot after I eat Italian food, like you're talking about. And sometimes I have a French, I'll sit down, I'll have a nice little glass of wine and some steak tartare, and I'll go dancing out of the fucking place. I might go French.
Having like a nice little meat. I guess you could do meat and cheeses for Italian too.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it. I'm with you, Large. I always think the chicken parm is the baseline where you start from there. I think Frankie Borelli said it best, who has, a little bit of experience in the Italian arts. I think Mr. Borelli said it. It's like, if you can't get a chicken parm right, you're in trouble. Like, if you start there. I also think if I'm going Chinese, I always got to try the General Tso's, and then pizza, like our guy Dave does, our fearless leader, just a cheese slice of pizza. That's what you start with there, and we build from there. And that's the other thing, though. If you choose French, you can't have pizza ever again. I feel like you couldn't do that, big man, right? A guy who grew up in Brooklyn.
I mean, you can't have French fries ever again.
Oh, that's fucking dirty.
Can't have French toast ever again. You can never French kiss your wife ever again. Is that part of the rules? Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
It's all eaten.
Yeah. Your wife's yelling, "Go Italian! Go Italian!"
Right, you can't do the second part of the 15-15-30.
That's true. Yeah. Pepe Le Pew, famous for that thing. And then the other big news at the Casa de Clem, we got ourselves a chest freezer. That's right. One of the biggest parenting moments you can go through. We are officially parents. We did a couple things in the bedroom with Bruno Mars playing in the background that, got us on the road to becoming parents. 9 months later, 2 little babes born.
I like the picture, Clem, when he's having Bruno Mars. It's like a nice vinyl record that he spins in his hand. And he's like, ho, ho, ho. We're about to have some 24/7 magic in the air, baby. And he puts it down, gives it a little wipe to get off the dust, and you hear the crackle start going. Down, 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 down.
We're gonna conceive, baby. Time to conceive. That's what we're throwing the vinyl on for. We got ourselves a chest freezer. Nice. It was on sale, obviously. We got it downstairs, and I told this to Chapsy, and Chapsy was fired up. You were proud of me. Would you say the chest freezer, I think, is the big time parenting move? And then when you're feeling yourself, that's when you throw the refrigerator. That becomes the drink refrigerator downstairs for the kids to come inside while playing. Is that a fair? I did it in the right order, right? I think you start with the chest freezer.
Proud. You're just making so many good dad decisions lately. I mean, just the upgrade to your space, what we're seeing now, it just seems like you're really coming into your full dad form. Now that you're getting more solid sleep, your kids are going to sleep in the night. Last year of preschool, you're edging into that second phase of dad life where you no longer have toddlers, you have little kids, and you're doing it beautifully by starting off with making sure that your man area, your office is set up the way that you like it and it's respectable. You got your deep freezer with your Costco membership. So you're going to be available. Anytime wifey's at work, hey, we need to throw something quick together. Don't worry about it. I got a couple lasagnas in the deep freezer. Just throw one on. We'll be good to go in an hour and 20 minutes.
Boom. There he goes. The man is preaching right now. This man has a history in that, as we all know on this show. So I think he kind of dabbled in it right there. We said we're going to power rank. We're going to do the best 9 items to throw in your chest freezer downstairs. Large, what'd you call it?
The Fine 9.
The Fine 9. I like that. A little pod fam special right there. So we're just going to go around the room a couple times, each pick 3 items and throw them on a list, maybe on a graphic, and we'll run from there. Chapsy, you lead us off right now because I feel like you're hot.
With the number 1 overall pick in the Fine 9, I'm selecting a quarter side of beef.
Ooh.
I feel like you got to do it anytime that you can, because you can get it so much cheaper. I don't know if it's the same up there, but having good, straight quality beef straight from a butcher shop wrapped in butcher paper, then it's not like the normal, like when you go to the grocery store, you have your pound of beef and it's all piled high and thick and shit like that in their little styrofoam things. Usually if you get it from a butcher, at least here, it's smashed down thinner. So when you put it in the refrigerator, it'll thaw more quickly. And so having that ready to go, great move. And you're going to save a bunch of money too.
Now, are you gonna have this broken down? Because it sounds like a quarter side of beef is a big piece. There's a shitload of steaks and flanks and all that kind of stuff. Steaks, flanks, and roasts in it. So you're gonna have that individually done out and wrapped in the veg, and then go in and say, "Oh, I'll just take a couple of sirloins," that type of stuff.
Yep, about every year and a half I do that.
Cool. My brother had somebody who had went hunting boar, and so they broke down a boar, and I had taken some stuff, and we met him on like the side of the road with the clean boar, and I took a couple of straps and stuff like that. And I kind of do that too, but I never took I just don't like beef when it goes through the defrosting process. That's the only rub for me.
Yeah, and we also had the what's it called? Oh, I also have a deer in the freezer too.
There you go.
I like it. Large, you go up. You lead us off next.
I will go with. I don't eat a lot of frozen foods, just don't. But one of the ones that makes me smile every time I eat it. I could have went 1 or 2 directions in these because I have them both in my fridge. But the Stouffer's French bread pizza. I always have a Stouffer's French bread on top. And I'm not going to say what the other one is because somebody might pull it, and that's totally fine too. I'll say it then at the end. But the only problem with the Stouffer's French bread pizza, it takes like 30 minutes once you put it in the fucking oven. It's not like some of the stuff where you kind of put it in for 10 to 12 minutes.
Air fryer, Large. You got to do air fryer. You'll have that bad boy in 12 minutes.
Stouffer's French bread pizzas make me smile. So I'll go Stouffer's French bread pizza.
Okay, I like that one too. I am going to go with, I don't know if they're still around, but just the general kind is Mr. Freeze Ice Pops. I'm talking the long plastic. You have the tubes. You have like 6 different flavors. We call them by the colors. We don't call them by the fruits. We're talking red. We're talking orange. We're talking purple. I'm sure there's some blue, orange, green, all that good kind of stuff. If Mr. Freeze is still around, that was kind of the brand name back in the day. That was the ones that the Clems had, my parents had, and all the neighborhood kids would go in and just, douse themselves in it when we were after a full day of playing outside. So Mr. Freeze Ice Pops is my selection there. And then I'll hit you guys on the way back with a little snake draft here. I'm going with the Eggos. I'm going with the big box that we're getting from Costco. Chaps,
You just
I know
pick my second two back to back.
back to back. Oh, I hate to snipe you like that, Chapsy. But the biggest part about getting this chest freezer is I would always get those Eggos because again, I'm in charge of mornings here at the house. I'm the one who has to get everyone in and out and taken care of. And the Eggos are the centerpiece of my sanity, basically, just because I can pop it in. Kids are fed and happy and they shut the hell up. And my wife, the way she looks at me when she's like, I do not have enough room in this refrigerator. We have a new refrigerator upstairs, but the way you guys know how they do with those bottom freezers, you have to stack the right way. And even if you stack
the
perfect,
newfangled ones fucking suck, dude. You can't find anything in these things. There's like 4 drawers.
It's the worst, man. It's the worst. And Costco, it's $10 for this giant box of Eggos. That would cost me $25 if I just bought it at the store. So it's like it just kills me one way or the other. Either I'm paying with my
money
wallet,
over there, Clem.
I'm paying with my wallet, or I'm paying with my wife being pissed at me. So being able to throw those Eggos down in the chest freezer just bought a whole lot of good grace for this household right now. We're looking at this is a beautiful time in the Clem house right now. I'm very excited. I'm very excited about the future. This feels like Pride Rock. The rain just started and the grass is about to turn green in the next minute.
But let me give you some caution there, Clem, before we get too deep into this bad boy. When you got that new deep freezer, you need to work overtime to make sure that that bad boy is not disorganized. Because once you let it get out of control, you're fucked. And it'll get out of control real quick. It's kind of like combat. You got to keep everything really tight, really disciplined. Because you let one little rogue fucking Eggo box get out of control. Next thing you know, it's chaos in the entire theater of your freezer.
Let me tell you, chaps, I've thought about this, and I'm happy you pointed that out to me because it's something I haven't had to deal with. All we have right there in there is a couple cartons of ice cream right now because we, just got it. It's like a game of Tetris. You leave that one hanging lip right there, and then there's just a bunch of blank space, and it throws off the entire balance, and we have chaos in the chest fridge.
Thought about what about this, Clem and Large? I don't know if you want to back me up here. What if we want to pull out that notes app since you're at the very beginning, and what we're putting into the deep freezer, we write it down on the notes app. So for like, oh, do we have that in the deep freezer when you're at Costco? Let me check. Oh yeah, we already got it. We don't need that. We don't need extra wontons. We got plenty.
Share the notes app with the wife. Yeah.
It's separate from your regular freezer. Like you said, it's on a different floor. Ours was in the garage for a while. So like, I didn't even know what I had there. So if I went in and I got a bunch of frozen waffles and then you go down there and your wife wound up getting that same deal. And now you have 164 waffles in your fucking thing next to 164, bagel
and nary a bottle of syrup to go with it.
yeah. Then all of a sudden you're getting creative.
Yeah.
Your wife's like, no, we'll do Nutella. And then afterwards you're making like a slurry.
Go get
with
one of
like
those 8
water
pounds of peanut butter we got.
So you do have to be careful because a lot of stuff just gets in there and it'll freeze into the actual freezer. Like once the frost starts to get on some of those older bitches, it'll become like a part of the freezer themselves. So I sometimes find the more space you have, the more you tend to fill it up with shit. So don't fall into that. If you're gonna go buy and you'd be like, "Ooh, that frozen crab rangoon looks good," don't just throw it in there. Try to get to it within a week or so, or else it's not gonna go for years.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Large, you're up next.
Mine's vodka. So I take a milk carton, a half-gallon milk carton. I pop the top open when we're done with the milk. I wash it out. I take a bottle of vodka and I place it into the empty milk carton. I fill the milk carton up with water and I place the whole thing into the freezer. When it's frozen into a solid block of ice, I take it out. I cut away the milk carton. I hold it by the nipple and it's ice cold vodka. I bring that with me to the steakhouses and I just put it in like one of those white wine buckets. An ice bucket. We sit there and we just do shots to clean the palate while I do it. If it's a BYO, we go to Allendale Steakhouse, which is a BYO steakhouse, which is fucking bizarre to think about.
Oh my
God. It really is. I was like, where the fuck are you going to do that in New York?
Chaps, I would take you to it in a fucking heartbeat because it has actually a nice steak. I went with my buddy Lenny, John, and myself. John brought a briefcase. Opened up the briefcase. There was 4 martini glasses and a shaker and all the accoutrement with it. I brought the fucking frozen vodka. Glennie brought Magnum, a large format type thing. We had such a wonderful thing. So I just sent you guys a video because I did it in the office for one Gentleman's Friday, if you can believe that. And it's an absolutely great idea. You should always have a bottle of vodka in your freezer no matter what because, well, I should. But frozen into a block of ice is next level.
That's a
Nicely
beautiful thing.
done.
I think I saw that at your old house. You had taken it out of the freezer, and I was like, this guy just gets it. I got to see a little side of large outside of there. And before I knew how much of a problem you actually had, once I got to know you personally. So
As soon
that's
as,
a good answer.
if people come over, I just automatically take it, open it, and I pour a couple of pops, and it's just ice fucking cold. And nobody says no. Maybe I'm afraid. They're afraid of me. I'll get them. But it's quite lovely. I really, really recommend it.
That's a beautiful thing. Chaps, you hit us with a double dip here, kid.
All right, so I'm going those individually wrapped pizzas. Anytime that you have a bunch of kids, like our kids' age,
Mhm.
and they can show up and everybody wants a quick little meal and nobody wants to actually cook, take a couple of those bad boys out, throw them on a cookie pan or throw them in the air fryer, and you're good to go. Second pick in the back-to-back, I'm going with the hamster, the chicken cordon bleu, with the fried outside with a little bit of cheese and the ham on the inside. You
Yeah.
throw those in the air fryer even when they're frozen solid.
I
You got,
haven't
30
seen
minutes.
that in fucking ages.
They're so
Chaps.
good, man.
There
Hamsters,
used
yeah.
to be some guy who used to come around in Brooklyn with a freezer truck,
Mm-hmm.
and he used to sell. It was almost like
Swanson? Is that what?
no, it was almost like what's that place?
Samsonite. You were way
Yeah,
off.
that was way off.
No, like almost like an Omaha Steak Company type place. But he used to come around and he used to sell cardboard boxes
Mhm.
with those like snowballs in them, like you're saying. And that was one of the things that my mom always bought. She also used to get the twice baked potatoes from him too. Used
Very
to pop
good.
those in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's a fucking memory. I would have went to my grave not thinking about that. I love those fucking things.
They're so good. We eat them probably once every 2 weeks because they're easy.
I
And
haven't
like
seen them in ages.
for frozen things, like we have those with a little bit of rice pilaf and some broccoli. It's just a fine meal. It's nothing to write home about, but it's perfectly fine for everybody on a quick little Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's complaining with absolutely fine. That's for damn sure.
Mm-hmm.
And
Large,
then,
right?
Goes back to me.
Yep.
Oh, I think we can all agree that frozen French fries are fucking horrific, but a tater tot is not. So we usually have somewhere along the line a big bag of tater tots where you can kind of just spread them out so they get a little bit whatever. So a bag of frozen tater tots, a bottle of frozen vodka, and a Stouffer's French bread pizza. And you tell
That sounds
me
like
that's
a
not...
Russian on the run.
You know, like how did you track large down? Oh, we just went. So, was there a big guy looking for vodka, tater tots, and Stouffer's? He was like, yeah, he was asking for chicken cordon bleus. We didn't know what the fuck he was talking about.
However, Large, do not sleep on the rally fries from Costco.
Oh,
They
really?
have the rally fries or checker fries will come in the big bag, and those in the air fryer are very good too. I think Costco and air fryer have got to be married.
yes, they have to be married. You can get an air fryer at Costco for a very, very fair price. An
Like
extremely
$15
fair price.
probably.
Yeah, probably. I'm looking at my big board here, and I have two different ways I can go. I was gonna go with the chicken nuggets just because you never want to look in that freezer upstairs and realize shit, we're out of chicken nuggets because you need to have it for the kids.
Yeah.
However, Chaps, you already got the cordon bleu there, so I'm gonna stay away from the fried chicken. I'm just gonna go with I'm going with chicken wings right here because it's football season coming up, and you could throw those bad boys in the air fryer, and you're going to be able to have a nice chicken wing meal whenever you would like. The bag is enormous from Costco too, but you know what? You don't have to worry about that because you have a whole chest worth of, like Large said, vodka. We got individually wrapped pizzas for Chaps, a fucking hunk of beef, part of a cow is just sitting down there, and we got to have some chicken wings down there as well. So my three are the Mr. Freeze Pops, the chicken wings, and the Eggo waffles. Those are my three. Chaps, you got
Side of beef, the hamsters, the chicken cordon bleus,
Yep.
and the individually wrapped pizzas.
and Big Man.
I got Stouffer's French bread pizzas, frozen vodka, tater tots. But I'd like to give a shout out also to ice. I think
Yeah.
people-
Yes. Oh fuck.
Like
we
if all
fucked
of a
up.
sudden you need to like make a cooler. By the way, the other pizza I was going to say was Elio's. For some reason, we always have
Elio's needs to be in there.
yeah,
Yeah.
flowing around. But some like if you get one of those big, not the 7-pound bags, like I guess they're the 14-pound bags, and you throw those, and all of a sudden you're packing a cooler and you don't have to go out and get it. Like even if you're sitting out on the deck and all of a sudden you rip open that, you pack a cooler and everyone's going into it. Ice is very, as opposed to like robbing from all the ice makers in the fridges and then nobody has fucking ice for like 6 hours. Just having a big old bag of ice is fucking priceless.
That was a clutch move for our pool house. We put in an ice machine down there, like a bigger one
Ooh.
that produces a lot. So when folks are down there making like margaritas and shit, they have plenty.
That strikes me as a very important thing to have in Texas, an ice maker down there.
Oh, yeah.
Machine.
Yeah.
And of course, the 1-bite pizzas, those are in the good refrigerator upstairs because we don't want to go downstairs. We want to have those at our beck and call whenever we need them. We love our 1-bite pizzas.
Are they
I also
available?
will order
Yeah.
like 15 to 20 of those pardon my cheesesteaks and put those in the
Yes.
freezer in there. So
All
All
right.
good.
as long as we're sucking dicks, then
Yeah.
New Amsterdam vodka is great.
True.
When it's
Yeah. We don't have to- Whistle Pig too. The whiskey is
Yes.
great.
Definitely the Whistle Pig. Chaps, you know this at Costco. They always have those drumsticks for sale. It's like 60 drumsticks for like $3, and it's like I'm basically losing money not buying this thing right now. I never had the room for it. Now I can just throw them in the basement, and you always have desserts for the kids. So whatever the cheapest ice cream is on Costco, a novelty that you can get a bunch of, I'm having that on the list. So that's my honorable mention there. So there's the fine 9 as we have it for today, for this week. And then we were going to wrap things up here. I had an interesting story come across my desk, and there's no two people I'd love to talk about it more than my guy Large and Chaps here. North Carolina school. We're south of the Mason-Dixon line again. Apologize after baptizing more than 100 children without their parents' permission. There was apparently 3 kids that were about to have a baptism done, and then they extended the offer to any other students. More than 100 students in total were baptized. I don't know if that's a peer pressure thing or just hey, might as well do this while I'm here. The head of the school said apologized to the family to let it be known. They say they typically invite the parents for the baptisms and ask their permission, but I guess sometimes maybe like the priest might just get a little baptism happy. Once that water starts going, you can't stop it.
We call that getting lost in the spirit in the biz. It'll happen.
So what do we think about this this fucking nonsense happening in North Carolina?
I mean, that's where very, very close to where I went to school to be a pastor. In fact, one of my good friends there in Fayetteville was a pastor of a church in Fayetteville, and we would go down from time to time. Even still, I cannot imagine doing this without parental consent. Even from like a religious, I used to do this type of thing perspective, doing it without the parents' consent is absolutely insane. Like just insane that you think that you could proselytize these kids. Like essentially is what you're doing. Crazy.
That's a big word, proselytize. I've never heard that one. You can't even download like an iPad app for your kids. It'll be like Roblox. It'll be like, get your parents' email and permission before you sign up for Roblox.
Dog, you can't give them a fucking bean burrito without parental permission.
Costco, you can't even get a free sample if it's a potential, nut allergy or some sort of cheese out. I know Chap doesn't believe in nut allergies. I apologize for bringing it up. Large, I mean, as a former CCD teacher as well, I wanted to hear your thoughts on this.
I love this. I really, we said it before. You got to take a test to drive a car. Anybody can have a fucking kid, and all fucking points are pointing to the fact that we're not doing a good job with them sometimes. So I want to take the fucking responsibility of getting God into these kids out of the parents' hands and do it on my fucking own. Because I grew up in a household where my mom and my dad used to like question people with baptisms. Oh, Jimmy just had a baby. Oh, really? When are you getting him baptized? I was like, I don't. He had a Tuesday. She was like, okay, but something happens. He doesn't go to heaven.
Yeah,
like that
right.
whole thing. I'd be like, wait, what? The baby dies. Isn't going to happen. Yeah. Like my parents would get nervous until my brother's kids were baptized. They're really, really on board with that. I am not. So I really don't give a fuck about it. But there's a lot worse things that people could do than give the kids a little fucking, whatever, and send them on their way.
I think what if it's like it's evangelical type too? Like we're not talking just doing a little
white
thing
outfits
and
and taking to the river.
We're talking about actual changes to somebody's life. Like if this thing takes, I think it's pretty extreme. The only way you get around this, private school. You signed up for it.
That's true. That's a fair point. What goes. In the fine print, it says there may be, baptisms, some unwilling baptisms that may occur from time to time.
You can't sign your kid up to go to Our Lady of the Lake of Guadalupe of St. Peter's and St. Michael's and be like, wow, they're doing religious shit here.
Yeah, exactly. Our Lady of Perpetual Sorrow. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, that's what they're doing.
As long as they don't make your kid have stigmata, I guess you're fine.
By the way, I just looked to see, you said that blog had hit that I wrote out, Nobody Wants to Work Anymore. I just hit it up. Right in the middle of it is a giant ad for overweight mattresses. For mattresses for overweight people. It's called the Big Fig. If you look at it, Big Fig.
That's targeted.
That's targeted
That's not.
That's from AdSense. It's based off of what you search for. That's based off of.
It's 100%. They're like, hey, chubby chaser, you'll either go to masturbate to this or buy one for yourself, you fat fuck.
That's one of the premise of one of my favorite Feidelberg blogs ever. Is there is this dude that was complaining that the Navy had on one of their websites, on like the Navy Times or whatever, had this access for a cruise. It was a gay cruise that you could go on to hook up with a bunch of dudes. And he went on Facebook or something like that, was complaining about the different types of ads that the Navy Times had, but it was just based off AdSense, based off of this dude's prior searches of going on gay cruises. That's the reason why it popped up.
Unbelievable.
Big Fig. Shout out.
I think large. There was some sort of a story about this where some kid had been baptized without consent or something, and you said, God forbid, if the kid were to, something tragic has to happen to him, gets into heaven though, at least, right? So sure. I guess it's another way to look at this, right?
What's the downside? Right?
Yeah.
What's the
You're
downside?
looking around for your kid in hell, like you're the fucking McAllisters, like heaven.
Yeah. Imagine
he got
that.
baptized at school.
God forbid the family gets into a fiery crash and they all go below, except for Timmy is up there, gets his wings, his halo, and his harp, and he's fucking living the good life while the rest of them are just getting raped by demons.
Yeah, not great. Yeah.
Thank you, Renee McLam, the head of the school I mentioned before. Yeah. She's the one who got to meet the Lamb of God right there. So,
before we go, Clem, can I give a TV update, content corner?
Oh, please do. Let's go to the content.
Hold on,
corner.
may I say I think it's going to look a lot like the Big Fig mattress ad that I just saw. Am I right with that?
Close. I mean, it's close. But this one, the new show that I've been watching, it's called Smothered, and it's about these mothers who are just very intense and constantly involved in their kids' life. One of them is 31 years old, and she swears that her daughter has to get her permission, that she needs to be able to move in with the fiance as well. And it's just over the top family relationships that make me it causes me to cringe physically watching it. Some of the way the one couple are the one family that I was just telling you about, they are so close that they share bath water. The mom will take a bath at nighttime. She'll start calling if the daughter's not sitting like on the toilet with the toilet closed, like sitting there waiting for her to be done. She'll call the 31-year-old daughter and be like, hey, I'm almost done. She'll get out of the water, and the other daughter that's 30 years old will get into that water. And they say that it makes them feel closer, but it's always the mom that gets to bathe first and then the kid. Wow. Just something fucked up to watch at night.
What channel is that on, chaps?
Oh, you already know it's Discovery Plus, baby. We're already over there. They got that. We got a blended family show that is incredible. There's just so many shows that just pop up every day that they're like, where did they find these folks?
That is. I mean, that's why Discovery Plus is blocked on all TVs in my house.
You need to unblock it. It's fantastic content.
I don't know if we have mentioned this on the podcast here, but there was a story a couple weeks ago that Warner Brothers is taking all the DC shows, the DC comic shows, off of HBO, and they're putting on Discovery. And I talked about it with Robbie. I go, Robbie, you don't understand what is over on Discovery right now. We're not looking at, Planet Earth kind of shit here. We're dealing with 600-pound. What is the name of that one?
Oh, we got 600-pound Life. We got 1,000-pound Best Friends, 1,000-pound Sister, 1,000-pound Family. We got all kinds of shows.
God damn it.
I'll tell you what, one other thing, if you want, yesterday was Annie's birthday 2 days ago. Her favorite movie is Jaws. I never saw Jaws before in my life. I saw the ending on TV and stuff. So I took the whole family to the IMAX to go see it. They re-released it for Labor Day. So my first time seeing Jaws in its entirety was on an IMAX screen, and it was awesome. And I dread it. I was like, I don't want to go see this movie, to be honest with you. I know what happens, and it was awesome. So I did Godfather, a movie that I've seen 100 times. I saw that in the IMAX less than a year ago. And on Super Bowl weekend, I saw Remember the Titans, which I never saw before. So I saw that on the IMAX, and now I saw Jaws. I highly recommend, if these things come back in these like little shrug end of season where you're not going to have a blockbuster for a while.
Yeah.
So they try to throw this shit in. I highly recommend, just for the fucking fashion and, you know, all that alone. These things are, I took the kids, Finn and Bridge. Obviously, I would have loved to have taken Rick, but he went away. But like everybody, my mother-in-law, my sister-in-law, my brother-in-law, his 2 kids, took the whole family. And it was fantastic. Highly recommend that shit.
That's a beautiful thing. I do that sometimes at Alamo. They'll re-release some old movies and all that kind of stuff. What was the dish? Obviously, you brought the cup. Did you bring the cups? And then did you make a dish?
So we did a big breakfast. We did a big breakfast. I did those lardons of the Danish bacon. I went out for croissants, and then we were going to Red Farm for dumplings and Peking duck after. So we didn't. I actually had like a Dasani and a peanut M&M, which I
think I've ever had Peking duck.
Oh, really?
Mm-mm.
Chaps, I invite you to go to. I know that I let you down with the album exchange. I invite you to come with me for a Peking duck. It's not a long meal. We can slide out into the east side, the Peking Duck House. We wouldn't go to Red Farm because that place can fucking now fall into the ocean. That's another website. If you want me to fucking rip apart a restaurant, I will rip apart Red Farm in the Upper West Side. It was disgraceful. I'll take you to Peking Duck House and we'll have a nice little Peking duck.
Love it. Can't wait.
Yeah, sounds like a beautiful time. All right. So everyone,
he did let me down with the record thing, by the way. I thought about it the other day, and I'm like, oh, it's a new month. It'd be great for me and Lars to have this to do together. But
I was sitting here and I had those records out. I'm going to grab those 2 records, show you guys Bad and stuff. And Annie was doing something. I said, oh my God, I got to put these away. She's like, oh yeah, why'd you have them out nowhere near the record player? I was like, oh, and I told the story. She's like, oh, that'd be nice to do. I was like, no, it wouldn't. I wouldn't fucking do it. She's
It'd
like,
be
well,
lovely to do.
She's like, well,
maybe I'll do it with Annie. Me and Annie can do it.
Yes, there you go.
Stay away from Annie.
No, we're going to be record pals. Also, one more thing, show and tell. Speaking of this thing, I got it yesterday. Blows my mind.
Give it to me.
Look at the size of this. This thing is an incense. It's called Blunt Effects, and it is 19 inches long incense that's covered with essential oil. It burns for 3 hours, and it is the most overwhelming smell of all time. I lit one last night before I left my office and came back in this morning. This entire place smells like a gas chamber of incense. It's unbelievable.
Like for outdoors, maybe.
You could if they put one of these on every single street corner in New York, the entire place would smell wonderful. Like you could get rid of all the bad parts about New York just with this one stick. One stick of incense will smell up the entirety of New York. It's unbelievable. And guess how much this is? I only paid, the dude didn't know how much it was, so he only charged me 75 cents per stick. Really? $4.95 a stick?
Oh, Lord.
Of incense? That's pricey.
In this economy? In this economy?
So I got this whole bag for like $5, $6. So I got enough incense to last like a year and a half. Be jealous, fellas.
My journey to the content corner. Oh, I watched the Manti Te'o doc. That you were telling me about, Large. Some fucked up shit. Really feel bad. I got me really into Barstool because, you know, a lot of the blogs are really hammering on the jokes and, you know, it got some ha-has out of it. And every twist of the story got crazier. And I'd like to apologize to Manti Te'o for any laughs I might have had at his expense.
So why did my t-shirt get turned down? I don't understand that. I never put that up. I had navy blue, Notre Dame blue with the gold writing, just like, you know, play like a champion today, that says, sorry, Manti. And then one that says Team Te'o. It's a Team Manti, either one. No, I don't think it'll resonate with people. I think everybody sees that and it would feel the same way. The whole fucking stadium, every Notre Dame game would be filled with fucking, you know what I mean? If they bring him back to, you know, whatever.
And I'm sorry tour.
Toss, yeah.
Oh, sorry tour. Yes.
That got thrown out. Another fucking whatever t-shirt just went up. But no, sorry Manti or Team Te'o. Nothing. God damn it.
Motherfucker.
Subscribe to Barstool Finance, the family office, all that good kind of stuff. Take care of Large because he's not getting in the merch.
Oh, by the way, if you're listening, I had the CIA attorney on Zero Block 30 who was responsible to go through all of Hillary Clinton's emails. So he is the guy that was responsible to go through all of the classified emails there. He was also the lead prosecutor for the CIA in like the Snowden case, the Chelsea Manning case, and several other the big cases. He came on ZBT to talk about the Trump files and what could possibly be in there.
ZBT is crushing with the guests these days, man. Good shit.
So that's all that stuff we see. That's all the redacted shit.
Yeah,
the
so
dark lines?
he basically went through the different markings and what that would possibly mean and what the typical case was. And then I asked him to compare and contrast the Hillary Clinton case and this case, and his answers were pretty phenomenal, man. Like going through, and I asked him, "Do you have FOMO, like the worst FOMO of all time?" And he was like, "Dude, I left the CIA like a year and a half ago. If I didn't, this 1000% would have been my case. Like I would have been the lead person on this, and I'd have all the information, and I don't know a fucking thing because nobody will tell me anything, and they're not allowed to tell me anything."
Wow.
I'll tell one last story before we go. Or Clem, if you have one. I got reached out to by the guys at the Zone, and they said, we're seeing some of the content you put in because you got back in the ring with Canelo. They're like, did you sign a waiver? And I'm like, no. They're like, because our legal team sees how much he hurt you, and they're afraid you're going to sue. I just had to tape this. I, Mike McCarthy, being of sound mind on September 5th, 2022. Can you hear that? Do waive any right to sue or seek any kind of damages from either DAZN or Team Canelo for injuries I may or may not have sustained while filming content on behalf of Barstool Sports. Any and all potential injuries were exaggerated for the effect of the content, and I have no intentions of doing anything except getting my ass to Canelo's house down in Mexico at some point to drive his cars and pet his horses, which he promised me.
I was looking at it like a hostage video and be like, he looked off to the left 4 times, which could be that he's made this statement under duress.
Yeah. I'm just so old. They're like, this old fuck's gonna,
Hey, we almost ruptured your spleen. Are you cool with that?
Yeah. What idiot would allow that?
Let me play my video of how I feel about Large turning down a unbelievable payday for something that had already occurred.
What an idiot.
What a fucking idiot.
Are you out of your fucking mind, Large? You wouldn't have to worry about selling Manti
Hey,
Te'o
you could have
shirts.
just give the money to me and Clem.
Yeah, exactly. I can get 2 chest freezers downstairs.
Nobody wants to work anymore.
Nobody wants to work.
Lazy motherfuckers.
Well, on that note, we're going to wrap it up for the week. So I'll see you guys next week. Stay safe and stay sane.